Good morning, everybody. It's Jeff Fitzpatrick. It's Monday, the 20th of January, 2025. It is the day on which President Trump will be inaugurated for the second time, but it's also a public holiday in the States because it's Martin Luther King Day. That means the market is closed today. Nonetheless, we can have a good look at what's going on. And we'll cover the market, my stock picks, and especially as we've just passed expiration or the main expiration day of January, we'll have a look at the outcomes so far for January. So first of all, the market. So this chart is showing back to really March of 2024, about a year, just coming up. And if we focus in at the business end here, we're actually on our sort of top of our third roll, and it is a doji. So we may expect some sort of a bit of a pullback, perhaps to a continuation of this lower white trend line. However, today's a bit different. With the inauguration of Trump and what's happening in Gaza, we may well see news affecting the outcome. So I'll be watching very carefully tomorrow to see which way the market is going. I'll be listening to the news and the pundits and trying to get a grip on it in the first hour or two before I set about any trading. And then we've got my picks. So these were done on Friday of last week. And just a quick reminder, the amount of work that's going into it, everything that you will see has passed the test of being looked at for its charts and indicators. They've all passed the better investing test to see what's happening to the momentum behind sales and earnings. They're all recommended by Zacks to be at least a one, which is a strong buy, two, a buy, or three, a hold. You might find it surprising that I will go with the three for hold, but remember, when I'm selling puts, all I really want is for the stock to not go down. I don't mind if it goes up, but I don't want it to go down. I've also looked at each of them in terms of the value line sheets and comments, and then looked at the premium available and the stock buying power for each before annualized return on investment is calculated, and then I can rank them. My preference is for end of the month or start of the month expiration dates. We know that just before the normal third week Friday expiration date, we get a little dip in prices sometimes. It certainly didn't happen last week. And therefore, we can avoid that by going away from that date to the beginning or end of the month. I'm also, where I can get it, looking for good clearance. What that means is if I'm looking at a stock price of, say, $40, then I want the put strike price that I sell to be as far below that as I can get while retaining a decent put premium. And this is the results really of the exercise that I've gone through. So everything starts blank and everything then gets looked at in terms of the charts. So that's the actual charts plus the indicators. Where a stock passes that test, it gets a green highlight. And I should also say these are coming from Zacks, the 4x4s from Value Line and TICN, 3x4s. Value lines are filter getting out the one for value, sorry, one for timeliness, two for value, and at least three for financial strength. I'm including the existing stocks, then I'm using the better investing stocks and also lists from Zacks. There's a lot of potential going into this. Makes a lot of work, but it only takes an hour or two. So as I was saying, first of all, you got to get a green. So everything that you can see on this sheet was at one point colored green. As I've then gone through and checked beyond the charts, I've looked first at better investing. And on that, if it fails, I turn a green to this sort of pinky color. So the ones that are in the pinky color have been green and failed on better investing. If they get through that test, I then go to Zacks, and on Zacks, I'm looking for a score of 1, 2, or 3. If the result is that it doesn't get through that, then I've change the green to a blue. And finally, I look at the remaining ones again in value line. And if they don't pass that, then they get a gray border. Now, some of the stocks score really highly. They're very well liked by all of these checks that I do. Those I highlight in a stronger green than those which are perfectly acceptable and great, which are in the lower density green. Now, what I've also done, so both of these results sets on the right-hand side came from last week, and I've decided just to keep a record of what the results are. I'm looking to see how long stocks stay in this situation. Now, bearing in mind both sets of these results are from last week, there isn't that much overlap. So that's telling me that basically every time I decide to trade or have to trade or want to trade, I should redo this exercise and find the new winners and losers. AX there got on both of them, but that's about it. Now, prices won't have changed obviously since Friday. The market is sort of shut. So tomorrow I will probably repeat the exercise again, as having got to the mid-month expiration date, we have a lot of buying power laid about. So I'm hungry for trades tomorrow, but I want to see which way the market's going, and I want the research redoing. So these are the picks that came out. This automatically updates the date, so that's today's date. They were done on Friday. The highlighted in green areas, they were the heavy greens, and then you got the rest. I've gone through each. I've got the price. I've picked an expiration date and a strike price, and the premium I've then noted. That's the lower end of the range of the spread of premiums. Where there wasn't a decent premium, but I still like the stock, I've noted it below here. So these are potential buy trades, and I've ranked them. But I've looked at where might they get to in the short term, what gain that represents in dollars and as a percentage, and then I've ranked them. I've also put in when earnings are due. And if that's really imminent in the next week or week and a half, then yeah, I may well skip them. So back to the top area, I've got the strike, the premium, the percentage premium. So that's premium percentage is the premium as a percentage of the strike price. Then that converts to a premium per day because I've got the date of expiration, so I've got the number of days. I look at the stock buying power, and you may remember from your training that if you look at the total cost of the trade and double it, that gives you a good approximation of the stock buying power that will be used. Now, I've tested that, and it generally is about right. So then I get a return on investment. So that is the premium as a percentage of the stock buying power used. The total stock buying power available to us is effectively our stake, what we are prepared to invest. It's our total investment. Then I've converted that to an annualized rate of return. So just divided by the number of days, multiplied by 365 to get an annualized rate of return. And you can see there's quite a big difference from over 100% to 30 odd percent. And I've noted the headroom again, it varies a lot. So if you look at Dell, for example, although it's $100 stock, I've got nearly 10% clearance on that. It needs to go down 10% before it even reaches the strike price that I'm talking about. And on top of that, I've got nearly $3 of premium to give me an even bigger headroom. And then I've got the earnings date. And again, if they're too close, we're now at the 20th. So I've got two here, which are at the bottom anyway, OTEX and TTEC, that are sort of getting a bit close for comfort. So probably won't go with those. In fact, there's another one there, which is GM. So then my picks for the week. I've already traded these. I will refresh it tomorrow. So next, I will take a look at the clubs. Okay, so you're looking now at a spreadsheet which includes all of the puts, in fact, all the puts for all the clubs for all of the months. But we're most interested in January at present. So let's have a look through what have we got. So for Diamond, they've made, whoa, that doesn't look right. Yes, it does. That's fine. They made 7,000 on puts in the month. So even though CVS got put, and that it was put earlier in the month, the price is now $52.62. So higher than the price at which it was put. So that's good news. ACGL was fine at $10 of clearance. AX was fine. We had, again, $10 of clearance on that. CMCA isn't due to expire until the end of the month, the 31st. As we stand, it looks as if it would be put to us. And the outcome would be we would have bought stock and we'd be 36 cents underwater. I could sell a call. I could just wait for the stock to rise. I could just enjoy owning the stock, or I could sell the stock and replace it with a new put at a lower strike price. Certainly, it's not going to be any trouble to get rid of a negative 36 cents. So Diamond is looking good for the month. Fortune, smaller club, of course. It got caught by CVS, but they were in there at $55. And however, they have had a bigger premium, $3.61. So even though they were put on after Friday, we ended up nearly $500 to the good. And there's lots of things we could do with it if we don't want to own them. They've got one more, which is CNC expiring this Friday, and at present everything looks good with that. Then we've got Tees, again a smaller club than Fortune too. They had a couple expiring, C and DBX, fine, no problem. And also they've got CNC expiring this Friday, and that's in the black too, so all good there. Sapphire, um, the stocks that have already expired have been fine. They've all ended up in profit. They've got CMCSA at the moment looking $2 underwater, and that expires this coming Friday. 600 of the 2,000 have already been put. Um, so there's a decision to be made there. I will probably end up just allowing the rest to be put and then either selling it and replacing it or keeping it and selling a call. Uh, they've also got two of the stocks expiring, two of the puts expiring on Friday, both of which look fine at present, but they'll be watched like a proverbial hawk. A lot more going on with the 100th Millionaire Club, and everything so far this month has ended up in profit. So at CVS, we've had 400 out of 700 shares put already, but it is in profit. CVS is an unusual case. There was some legislation came out just before Christmas that is stopping them continuing with some of the activities they have in their stores. That caused the share price to fall, so we were caught out a bit by effectively bad news there. Over the month overall, there's the best part of $15,000 of profit, but we have got expiring this Friday CAG, Gold, CMC, SA, and Vale. And we'll treat them depending on where they are. So gold, for example, is looking as if it's on the rise, and it's only 47 cents underwater. That's probably the important thing here. None of these are much underwater. The worst case is $1.50 per share. That's on CMCSA, which has already had 700 put. We can overcome all of those and get them to profit very easily. By waiting as long as we can, as close to the 24th or even to the close of business on the 24th, we are letting time value pull out of these. And that just makes life a lot easier for rolling them forward and rolling them forward to a lower strike price. QI, not having such a good month, I'm afraid. What's happened so far is fine. BAH and ADUS, they came in to the good, but there's some work to do on the three stocks that have puts expiring this Friday. One of which has already been put, CMC SA, and again, easily dealt with. There's nothing in here. The outcome is we're $1.28, 44 cents, and $2.12 underwater on it, so easily overcome. I can turn that round. And lastly, we have got the Extra Income Club. They only had, well, they started off with more puts expiring in the month than this, but they've had them roll forward and down, so they're now expiring later months and create more profit. So we've only got one here. It's a dollar. It's CMCSA. It's $1.52 out of whack, and it has been put to us now, so I can deal with that this week. And I put the total there. So overall, between the clubs, we are $19,000 to the good on puts that expired so far this month, and we will be improving on that. Of course, we've had the benefit of price appreciation and some dividends, so the increase in profit for the month will be significantly higher than that. And that's where we are on the clubs mid-month in January. Okay, I'd like to mention the conference. You can now book this on the myinvestmentclub.co.uk website. On the front page, you'll see a button that talks about conference, and it is going to be really exciting. I'm taking a much more of a leading role in this one, and we'll be looking at the progress towards 10% per month, and we're at least halfway there now. TICN, the scoring system, I'm looking to update that, and certainly I'm going to be using an updated version. I think we'll keep the old figures going just for the case of historical records. I'm looking at revising the dashboard to make that more user-friendly and more useful full stop. And then we'll look at the automatic screening that we do. I'm looking to introduce a way of seeking out 4x4s and 3x4s just at the press of a button, rather than having to look at all of the value line reports for all of them and to do mind maps for them. That will be a huge step forward. You'll be able to get your 4x4s and 3x4s at the press of a button anytime you want to trade. We'll have some special guests come in from the USA that most people won't have heard from before, and won't have even heard from their organizations before. They'll be exciting stuff. Then we've got some live trading and demonstrations on trade management. And I'm also going to be looking at some new trading record templates, and those present will get those. The Facebook group, thanks for being a member of it. I'm still posting in there. If you haven't joined it yet, look out for us. It's the Extraordinary Stock Trading System. You'd be very welcome. And if you're watching this and you're not a member of one of the clubs, you might want to check us out further. You can do that at myinvestmentclub.co.uk. You can contribute to the club £100 a month, 100,000, or whatever you want. It's designed to allow people on modest means as well as anybody else who wants to come and join us. And through that, you can join the WhatsApp group of the club, ask questions directly to the members, and or come along and see one of our meetings in action. And that's it for today. Enjoy your day of rest with no trading, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Thanks again. Cheerio.